So many times over the years, I kind of go into this place where it's almost like a default, a conditioning that's happened over the years, probably from working in the corporate world, living in a world where significance and ego are at the top of the tree, right? So that hierarchical kind of ladder, that kind of mindset. So one of the biggest challenges I find with a lot of leaders that I work with was ones that I've been through myself. I've kind of been there, right? So how do you get the best out of your people? How do you get a great business, right? Well, one of the biggest mistakes I used to make is I used to focus on what people didn't do, right? That was where I spent a lot of my time. What don't they do enough of? And in fact, recently it's happened again where, you know, they've just had one of their best ever months and I'm looking at some of the detail which wasn't so great, and you kind of bang, hang on a second, right? What's my advice to myself? What's my default fucking question, right? And that's to build others up, okay? Think about the two choices that you've got as a leader, right? You either build people or you destroy them. Which one's going to get you to where you want to go? What one's going to give the best service to your clients? And so on and so forth, right? Who's going to want to work for someone who's constantly picking the shit out of what they're doing, right? Oh, that wasn't good enough. Or how was that? Oh, yeah, you didn't do that right. And or what about that? That wasn't very good, blah, 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 blah. And that is the world that we live in. Why? Because we're conditioned, right? 24-hour news. Everything's shit, right? Don't hear the news, don't turn the news on, right? And all of a sudden there's this fantastic stuff. They're talking about all the positive things that are going on around the world. Oh my God. Which, by the way, there are more positive stories out there in the world today than there are negative ones. What percentage of the news are positive stories? That's right. Fuck all. Why? Because the world wants to sell you the drama, sell you the negative. People buy negativity, don't they? Well, you like, oh, go through the phone, you see some shitty headline, that's horrible headline. I'll click, I'm going to watch that. If it's some great news, oh, I'll just bypass that, scroll through. That's the world we live in, right? But don't let that get into the way of your leadership, okay? Look at the people that work for you. What are their strengths? That's question one, right? Write their names down. What are their strengths? What are their talents? What are they great at? Okay. Same when you leave school. Oh, how did you get on? Oh, I failed. Oh, that's a great thing, isn't it, at the age of 16? What do you mean you failed? Well, I didn't get any GCSEs. I think that's what they still are now. What are you great at is the question that we should be asking people at the age of 16. What do you believe you can do? What are your talents? What's the gift that you've got, right? It's the same in your business. What are the gifts that these people have got? What are the things that you saw in them when you recruited them? Now, question two, are you playing to them? Or is it like a goalkeeper playing up front on a football team, right? Think about that analogy, right? You've got someone that's really good at doing one thing and then you're getting them to try and do another. Well, start with yourself actually as a leader. If you've done a big circle right now, and I'm going to do a demonstration, right? That's a circle. How much of your time, right? That's 100% of your time, that's 50%. How much of your time are you in your flow? Are you doing what you're good at? What you're great at? Your strength, right? How much time have you got in your strength area? Like many people that I coach and mentor, right? I ask that question. We normally find that less than 25% of their time is in their strength area. So 75% of their time is doing things, actions, spending time on things that actually other people could be doing at a lot less salary, right? And actually those other people will be enjoying those tasks way more than you as a leader, right? So first thing you got to do is check in with yourself. So what are your strengths and where are you spending your time, right? Okay. So this is a fundamental part of growing a business. You know, years ago, when I first started the business, in the first year I was typing up details, putting them online, getting people to remove rugs and taking pictures and so on and so forth. I was doing all these things because I was trying to grow a business, right? Gradually over the first year, 18 months, I literally went from probably 25, 30% of my time to 75, 80% of my time doing the bits that I'm good at, focusing on the key areas that I can control, the things that I can influence in my business. Second question, if you've got that right for yourself, what about the people in your organisation? Think of the 80-20 rule, right? If you've got them playing 80% of their time to 20% of their strengths, right? You've got it wrong, okay? You've got to think 80% of their strength, right? You want them to do that 80% of the time. You want them to be doing what they're good at to help you get the business into the flow of delivering what it needs to deliver. So just think about this for a moment, right? One of the questions I ask my leaders, one of the first questions I ask is, how would you love to be led by you? Right? Would you love to be, if you were working for you at the moment, if you were turning up every day, showing up, and you were behaving like you currently are as a leader, would you feel inspired? And you know, the majority say, no, actually, no. What was the last interaction that you would have with yourself? Is it to talk about the things that you're not doing very well, or the things that you're fucking awesome at, right? Think about the build or destroy. So to build a great business, you've got to build great people. And I'm just going to go back to my recruitment just very quickly, and this will be in another video hopefully you've watched. And that is the can do, will do, team fit. So great people, I know there's that book, I think it's Jim Collins, Good to Great, how you take your business from good to great. And one of the fundamental things he puts in there, which I think confuses a lot of people, is you got to get the right people in the right seats. How the fuck do you get the right people? That's a question I get asked by a lot of leaders. Who are the right people? Well, this is the metric that I use: can do, will do, team fit. Can do, capability. You've got a job description and expectation. Is that something this person can do? With a bit of training, bit of development, if the answer is yes, bang, off we go. By the way, most of the time, that's a nailed on, right? It gets a bit tougher now, will do. This is all about their willingness, their attitude to do what they're supposed to do, right? And what they're supposed to do, guys, isn't about their results, right? It's not about the end goal. The stuff they can't control. If you get the capability and the can do, the job description to be all about things that they can influence, their choices, they can control. That second question is all about their attitude. Because technically, they should be in their strengths doing what they're good at. So why wouldn't they do it? Does that make sense? So if you think about it, you've got people that are playing to their strengths, their attitude to doing those actions and tasks are in line with what they're good at. Hang on a second, we might have something here. And the final part of it is team fit, right? How many teams get destroyed by one person, right? Loads, believe me, because one becomes two, two becomes three. It's like the cancer of business, right? Bad culture comes from bad recruitment, bad leadership. It doesn't come from that individual themselves. You made the decision, take responsibility, get them out. But you can start this process right now. Can do, will do, team fit. If you get those three things right, you're going to bring great people into your business. Then don't destroy them, build them, and have the most amazing business in return. Enjoy.